is. Hey, I know we haven't met yet, but hey, the name is Max Thunder. That's right. Adventure man. All right, international explorer, wilderness pioneer, lover of all things outdoors. You know, I can't even remember the last time I took a shower inside my house. Hey, it is so good to be with you today. And guess what? I almost didn't make it. That's right. All right, over the last week, I was climbing Mount Everest. That's right, Mount Everest, just so I could snowboard down it. Now, you're familiar with Mount Everest, right? Just north of Tualatin. Elevation of at least 32 feet above sea level. Wind was howling. The air is so thin you can hardly breathe. The wind chill factor, I have no idea. I don't know what a wind chill factor is, but I gotta say that the temperature was hovering around the mid 60s. I didn't know if I was gonna get out of there alive. The only thing to eat was Burgerville, all right? But guess what? I survived. I lived to tell the tale, and I'm so glad that I did. There's no place I'd rather be. You know, we got Teacher Kathleen is gonna bring us the word today. You're gonna see Teacher Nicole, some other fun stuff, and guess what? We're gonna kick it off with some worship.
Whoa, oh, oh, I'm ready to go. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, I'm ready to go. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, I'm ready to go. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, ready to go. Whoa, oh, oh. You painted the skies, you poured the seas, you've shown your marvelous works. To God belongs the glory. I got nothing to hide, I got nothing to prove. My life has been hidden with Christ my Savior. I'm lost in you. I'm diving deep, 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 deep in your endless love, love, love. An ocean around me. You keep me anchored to the hope. I'm alive in Jesus. Deep, 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 deep in your endless love, love, love. An ocean around me. You keep me anchored to the hope. I'm alive in Jesus. Oh, 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 ready to go. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 ready to go. Oh, oh, oh. You painted the skies, you poured the seas, you've shown your marvelous works. To God belongs the glory. I got nothing to hide, I got nothing to prove. My life has been hidden with Christ my Savior. Lost in you. I'm diving deep, 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 deep in your endless love, love, love. An ocean around me. You keep me anchored to the hope. I'm alive in Jesus. Deep, 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 deep in your endless love, love, love. An ocean around me. You keep me anchored to the hope. I'm alive in Jesus. Oh, 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 I'm ready to go. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 I'm ready to go. Oh, 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 are you ready? Oh, 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 I'm ready to go. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 I'm ready to go. Oh, oh, oh.
Welcome back, friends. Teacher Nicole here. I cannot wait to share with you the memory verse of the month. So, for September, are you ready? We are going to memorize Isaiah 40:28, and it goes like this. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord's the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired. He won't grow weary. And his understanding, no one can fathom. Isn't that incredible? I love that verse so much. And especially because our stories this month work really well with this.
Hey, Teacher Nicole, Teacher Nicole.
Mr. Greg!
It's good to see you.
It's so good to see. Are you real?
I'm here.
It's
I'm
so good
actually
to see
here.
you. I haven't seen you in so
I know.
long.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Were you teaching a verse?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Well, you know what we do. We should teach them a song to go with it.
Oh, that will make it so much easier for you guys to remember. Do you have a song?
Well, sure we have a song. We've always got a song for you guys.
Oh, that's true.
Let's do this.
I better put my Bible down.
Put your Bible down. We'll teach you a song, and Teacher Nicole's going to teach you the hand motions that go along with it, because I've frankly run out of hands.
Oh, yes. No problem.
All right, so much fun to be here with you guys today. Here's how this song's. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord's the everlasting God. Let's do that again. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord's the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. Oh, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired. He won't grow weary. His understanding no one can fathom. Nope. He will not grow tired. He won't grow weary. His understanding no one can fathom. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord's the everlasting God. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord's the everlasting God. And that's it, guys. That's a song that you can use to remember this verse, Isaiah 40:28.
I love it.
Thanks.
Thanks for writing that for our friends.
You bet.
Will you come
Enjoy
back
it.
later?
Well, yeah. Let's do this again.
Okay.
Cool. Bye, everybody.
Hello, River West kids. It is so good to be with you. Teacher Kathleen here, and I'm super excited to teach the lesson today. And I'm going to start with a question. All right, think about what makes a great story. All right, maybe think about your favorite book that you read this summer or your favorite movie that you saw. I mean, you loved it probably because it had things like adventure, conflict, heroes, love, courage, good triumphing over evil, right? These are the things that we love about a great story. And you know, the most important story ever told is God's story. All right, now, of course, we're talking about the Bible, right? The Bible is God's story, and God's story has all those things and more. And what's so amazing about the Bible is that we have access to it. I mean, think about it. The creator of the earth, right? God, who has complete power and dominion over all things, he's given us the Bible because he wants us to know him. He wants us to understand and see his character, to understand and see his plan for our world, right? That's amazing. And today we're actually going to start in the beginning. That's the book of Genesis. Now we do this every year in September in children's ministry. We start in Genesis and then we work our way through until we end in Revelation in August. Now, it's really, really cool we get to do this because as you journey through children's ministry, you'll really get a good sense of God's overarching story. I mean, we focus and highlight different stories each year, but each year we tell God's story, and I love that. All right, but back to Genesis. That's what we're going to be focusing on today, specifically chapter 1. Now, what do we know? The Bible tells us that before God created anything, there was just darkness and disorder. Now, you might be thinking there's something wrong with your screen right now because you're only seeing black. Well, that's what it was like in the beginning. Nothing existed until God spoke beauty and order so that life could flourish. Now let's just take a minute to think about all the things described in Genesis 1, all the things that God created. God created the stars. He created the sun and the moon. He created the mountains. He created the plants. He created the forests. We've also got amazing oceans. Think about the lakes and rivers. And then there's that wide variety of animals God created. We've got things from giraffes and elephants. We've got iguanas, hippos, whales. I mean, these are all things that exist on land and in the sea. And God created all of these different and unique animals, and they all point to His creativity and His power. So think about it for just a minute. What's your favorite part of creation? Like parents and kids, what do you enjoy most about what God has given us in our world? I mean, maybe it's the starry nights. Maybe it's the majestic mountains. Maybe it's your favorite animal. You know, in the Pacific Northwest, we have so many beautiful things to enjoy in the summertime. So hopefully you've gone out and thanked God for all that He has given us. All right, but He didn't stop there, right? Genesis 1 also tells us that He created humans. That's us, right? In fact, the first humans ever to be created were Adam and Eve. Now, Genesis 1:27 gives us a little insight into how we were created. It says, "So God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Male and female, He created them." Okay, that phrase, in the image of God, I bet most of you have heard that phrase before. We were made in God's image, but what does that really mean? That can kind of be confusing. All right, so I've got 3 parts that I would like to explore with you today, and they all start with the letter R. All right, now the first R is relate. We were made in God's image so we could relate to God, right? We were made to be in relationship with Him. He knows us and He wants us to know Him. So that's the first R, relate. The second R is reflect. We were made in God's image so we could reflect Him to our world. So it's kind of cool to think that the more that we grow in relationship with God, the more that we grow in our knowledge of His love, the more we reflect Him back to the world around us. All right, so we've got relate, we've got reflect. The third one is rule. We were made in God's image to rule over creation. That means we're supposed to be taking care of it. That's a really big responsibility, and we should take it seriously. All right, so hopefully that gives you a little better understanding of what it means to be made in God's image. All right, so think about everything that makes up God's creation. It's astounding. We've got everything from the beauty of nature to human beings, to our complex bodies and our complex brains. I mean, all of this points to the fact that there is an intelligent designer. There's someone behind it all, and that someone is God. Creation is actually evidence that God exists, right? And there's so many complex things about our world that really are mind-blowing and that make it hard to imagine that this all just happened randomly. All right, and I'm going to close out with 3 examples of that. And to do that, I'm going to use this globe. This is my globe from home. I love globes. They're just cool because they're 3D. You can spin them. You can kind of see where certain locations are related to other places. You get to see how vast the oceans are. This is the Pacific Ocean. Here we are in Portland, Oregon, way up here. So I love globes. But back to the purpose of this. All right, I'm going to mention 3 complex things about our Earth that remind us that, wow, God is actually behind this all. All right, complexity number 1. Okay, the Earth is the only known planet that's equipped with an atmosphere that can sustain life. All right, what do I mean by that? Well, an atmosphere has gases, and the Earth's atmosphere is mostly made up of nitrogen and oxygen. And without that, all the people that lived on this planet, all the animals, all the plants, we wouldn't survive without that perfect balance of gases in our atmosphere. So we couldn't live on Mercury. We couldn't live on Jupiter. We could live only on Earth because God made it that way. Did this happen randomly? I don't think so. All right, complexity number 2. The Earth is perfectly placed in relationship to the sun. Imagine if the sun's here, the Earth's here. If we were any closer to the sun, we would burn up. If we were any further away from the sun, we would freeze. So this perfect placement of our Earth, did this just happen randomly? Again, no way. I don't think so. All right, complexity number 3. All right, this has to do with the rotation of our Earth. So the globe's kind of cool for this because you can imagine how the Earth rotates on its axis, but it also rotates around the sun. Now, without this rotation, the Earth would not be allowed, the entire surface of the Earth would not be allowed to receive the right amount of warmth and light for things to live and grow. So without the rotation, there would be parts of the planet that would be too cold and too dark for things to survive. Now, again, did this happen just randomly? No, right? No way. Like, there's got to be a God, an ultimate creator that sustains all of this. Now, I could go on and on. I mean, there's gravity, there's the complexity of the human brain. I mean, there's so many things, but you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, Teacher Kathleen, this sounds like online school. Please tell me you're not going to quiz us on this. No, I'm not going to quiz you on this, but I do love thinking about this just because it just kind of is mind-blowing to think how complicated our Earth is. I mean, the natural beauty of our Earth, human beings, all the laws that govern our Earth. I mean, it really is, it's amazing. And it points to the fact that there is an intelligent designer, creator behind all of it, and that's God. And you guys, that's the big takeaway today, that creation is evidence that God exists. And not just any God, but the one true God, the loving, personal God. He created our world and He created us. And that's what we want you to remember today. So, as you read Genesis 1:1, right, when it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right, we should just be in awe. We should be amazed of God's power and His wonder and His majesty. So now I'm going to turn it over to Teacher Nicole because she's got the quick version of the story.
Hi, friends. This is the part of Sunday where I do a quick recap of the story that Miss Kathleen just told. So, are you ready for our summary of creation? Okay. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And on day 1, God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw that the light was so good. And He separated the light from the darkness. And the darkness He called night. And the light He called day. And that was the first day. And then God said, let there be a separation, a divide between water and water. So God separated the water above from the water below. And it was so. And God called the water above sky the second day. On the third day, God said, let the water under the sky be gathered to one place. And let the dry ground appear. And God called the dry ground land, and gathered water He called seas. And God saw that it was good. And then God said, let the land produce plants. And it was so. And God saw that it was good on the third day. On the fourth day, God said, let there be lights in the sky to separate day from night. And God made 2 great lights. The greater light was the sun, and it was to govern the day. And the lesser light, the moon, was to govern the night. And God also made stars. How much do you love stars? And God saw that it was good on the fourth day. On the fifth day, God said, let the waters have living creatures. You know, like fish, you guys. And let the birds fly across the sky. And so God created the creatures of the sea and the birds. And God saw that it was good on the fifth day. And on the sixth day, God said, let the land produce living creatures, livestock, moo, and, and creatures that move along the ground, and wild animals, roar. And it was so, and God saw that it was good. And then He said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over everything that we've created. And it was so. And God saw all that He had made, and it was very good. That was the sixth day. On the seventh day, the earth was complete, and God had finished what He had been doing. And so on the seventh day, He rested. And then God blessed the seventh day, and He made it holy, because on it He rested from all the work that He had done creating. And that is the story of creation.
I wanna stream it out from every mountain top. Your goodness knows no bounds. Your goodness never stops. Your mercy follows me. Your kindness fills my life. Your love amazes me. And I'll sing because you are good, and I'll dance because you are good, and I'll shout because you are good to me. And I'll sing because you are good, and I'll dance because you are good, and I'll shout because you are good to me. Nothing and no one comes anywhere close to you. The earth and oceans do only reflect this truth. And in my darkest night, you shine as bright as day. Your love amazes me. And I'll sing because you are good, and I'll dance because you are good, and I'll shout because you are good to me. And I'll sing because you are good, and I'll dance because you are good, and I'll shout because you are good to me. My heart will proclaim that you are good, that you are good. And in the sun and rain, my life celebrates that you are good, that you are good. And I'll sing because you are good, and I'll dance because you are good, and I'll shout because you are good to me. And I'll sing because you are good, and I'll dance because you are good, and I'll shout because you are good to me.
Hey friends, Teacher Nicole here. I am so excited to be with you today. Today, as you know, we talked about God creating the heavens and the earth. And so our craft today is going to reflect that. I hope your parents have been able to print this off for you. So once you have it, if we were together, I would tell you, make sure you write your name on it. And, but I don't know, maybe you don't have to. Maybe you have a couple siblings that know that it's your artwork. So either way, here's what you have. Then I have my handy dandy coloring pencils or markers or crayons, and you're going to color. That's first, that's step one, easy peasy. Then you're gonna get out your scissors, and that's not the proper way to hold them. You should hold them like this. Get out your scissors and start cutting along the dotted lines. And you're gonna cut out all the circles. I'm not gonna do it right now because it would take way too long, but I'm going to cut out one day just so that I can show you what it's gonna look like. Once you've cut out all of the circles, I have two different options for you. You can either take this and paste the day of creation to whatever day. We're doing day 6 right now. whatever day it was, and then you have like day 1 of creation, day 2 of creation that you can look at and remember the story. Or I have a little bit of a fun project for you if you want to be even more creative. I bet a lot of you have cereal boxes at home right now. You've probably been eating a lot of cereal. And so what I did was I thought we could make a puppet show out of it. So I took these big scissors, the big adult scissors, and I cut a hole in the back. And I cut a hole in the bottom. It was pretty easy, but you should probably ask Mom and Dad for help first. And then, once you're done with that, you can take a popsicle stick and you can take all of your little days of creation. You can make a really cool background, and then you can have your parents read the Bible story to you, and they can say, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was formless." And then you can go through each of the days of creation. Every time they mention a different creation, you can take that circle with your popsicle stick and you can pop it in there. But save it, because I have a feeling we could probably make a lot of puppet shows out of all of our crafts for this month. So that's it for today. I hope you guys are doing so well. I love you, and have a great Sunday. Bye.
Hey River West families, we are talking about creation today, and we thought it'd be fun to give you a simple game to play to help you think about and reflect on God's creation. So what are we playing? We're playing Pictionary. This is a classic. You guys probably all know how to play it already. All you need to do is get maybe a whiteboard or just get some scratch paper and markers. Have everyone think of an animal to draw, and then they'll draw it, and then the rest of the family will guess it. And maybe whoever draws it and has it guessed correctly the quickest, they're the winner. Or you could set it up girls versus boys. However you want to do it is great, just have fun. All right, let me give you an example. All right, I'm thinking of an animal and I'm gonna draw it for you. Let's see if you can guess it correctly. All right, here we go. Everyone that knows me knows I'm not an artist, but I'll give it a shot. All right, we've got some eyes. This kind of looks like a person so far. It's not a person. What do you think it is? It's a cat! Hopefully you did not guess like giraffe or rhinoceros. It's a cat. That was kind of an easy one, but anyway, that'll just give you an idea of something you could play at home. Just get out some paper and pens or a whiteboard, play some Pictionary, have a great time.